This is the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show. A station that pays.
This is MC Reggie Fresh from the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show. And today, folks, we got Mr. Paul Weston. He's in the building from
Toronto, Canada.
What's going on, brother Paul? He's from Canada.
I feel great. I feel good. It's New Year. Hey, happy New Year, 2019, eh?
Hey, Happy New Year's, man. Happy New Year's.
All right. Hey, what's going on, man? Super Bowl Sunday. Everything's happening today.
Well, Super Bowl Sunday, even though my team didn't make it, I hope the Rams win because I can't stand the Patriots. So I need the Rams to win. I'm a big Steeler fan. Die hard.
Hey, man. Yeah, me and you are going to have a good time. I'm going to get pizza, and I'm ready to rock.
All right, then. Well, today you on my show because we're going to discuss your comedian work. I know you're a comedian, and I want to ask you, starting off with the first question.
Sure.
What made you want to become a comedian?
Everybody has a calling in life,
Right.
Everybody has a gift.
Right.
My gift is comedy. I love it. I'm always writing. For years, I've been writing.
Okay, so that's how long you've been a comedian?
My whole life, I've been involved in comedy one way or another.
Okay, then. So let me
One way or another.
So let me ask you this: where have you been to perform?
Basically, I've been all over Toronto, and where I live right now in Oshawa, Ontario, throughout Ontario.
Now, what do you do to make? Right. Now, what do you do to make people laugh? How do you make them laugh?
You know what? I've touched on comedy in various ways. I've written for people. I've done impressions. I've done stand-up. I've done karaoke. The way I do karaoke is very funny on the stage. I like to become the character, the singer, whether I'm putting on a wig or whether I'm just doing an impression. But I've also done many, many short films. All comedy shorts, eh?
Right. All right.
I have my own channel.
Now, do you know a lot of comedians?
I know a fair share, and I've seen a lot of professional comedians. I've seen a lot of amateurs. I've had a lot of good time.
Okay, now who's one of your favorite comedians?
My favorite comedian right now, as it stands, is Jerry Seinfeld.
Okay, what about overall?
Overall, when I was a kid, good question. George Carlin, man.
You don't like Richard Pryor?
Richard Pryor is cool. You know what? His TV show was Choice. From the 70s, his TV show, I dug that thing, man. And he was a good actor, too.
Sanford and Son?
Yes.
There's a whole lot of comedians out there.
I agree 100%. We relate.
All right. Okay, cool. Now let me ask you this question. For the upcoming amateur comedians, what kind of advice would you give them before they start getting their shows on the road and stuff like that? What kind of advice could you give them?
I'm going to give you the advice that George Carlin said once. He said, anytime there's a mic in life, whether it's stand-up, for stand-up or not, get on the mic so you can get some experience. It's all about confidence, eh? Confidence.
Right.
And practice.
Right. Now, when you consider practice...
Yes.
When you consider practice, how long do they need to be practicing a day? By the hour?
Well, Louis Anderson, the comedian, said do it 100 times. Appear on the stage for about 100 times. When you can do that, you're coming into your voice, he says. I think that's a pretty good, that's pretty good.
Advice?
Right there.
Yeah, it is right there. Okay, all right.
And you know what? Eddie Murphy said do it for about 1.5 to 2 years. He said that.
Okay. Now, your first show, when you first went, when there was a lot of people staring at you, how did you feel? Was you nervous?
The first time I was on stage, I was a freaking meathead, man. I was a freaking meathead. I didn't have any confidence, insecure, very first time. Second time I went up, I felt so confident, it was crazy. But there was a bit of a gap between the second time,
Okay.
Bit of a gap.
All right.
I really grew.
Now, I know you in Canada, but you never know. Somebody might want to book you and stuff like that. So especially if you show them your work or whatever. So what I want to do now is ask you, how can you be reached? What's your handle? How can people get in touch with you just in case they want to book you or whatever? Could you give me that information?
All they got to do for me, for that question at the moment, this is how I'm going to answer it. Just go on my Facebook page, Paul Weston.
Mm-hmm.
Type me a little private message right there.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, too, if you want to, you can go on my channel, Paul Weston, and look up some short films and watch them. You know, I hope.
Is that YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube.
Okay.
And make a comment in there. Make a comment.
All right, now, how much do you charge? Or do you get your own price? It just depends on the hour or what?
It's going to come down to the promoter for those things.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah.
All right.
I don't have a set price. At the moment, I don't have a set price.
Okay, then, Mr. Paul. Now, you got any shout-outs you want to give to anybody?
I'll give you a shout-out to this guy named Carlos Lucien. He's a very funny stand-up comic. He's got a couple of shows here and there. He's got another one coming up in April.
Okay.
This guy's very funny. And watch out for him. He's from New York City.
Okay.
He's done a lot of shows in New York, Long Island.
All right. Anybody else?
There's a guy in Toronto called Mark Forward. He's very funny. Another guy in Toronto called Sean Cullen. He's very funny. Been doing it for years. These guys are very funny, eh?
All right. That's what's up. Okay, Brother Paul, thanks for being on my radio show, man. And the last question I want to ask you, could you please tell me what's the baddest station in the land and the station that pays?
It's the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show.
And there y'all have it, folks. That's Brother Paul out of Canada on the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show.
This is the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show, a station that pays.